In this video, we'll see why old items remain in your pivot table drop-downs sometimes, how you can fix it, and how you can keep it from happening in the future. This is Debra Dalgleish from Contextures.com. In this pivot table, we've got sales data for 3 different regions over 2 years. And we'll see how old items can get stuck in the drop-downs, such as this region one, which currently shows Central, East, and West. You can also see Central, East, and West in the column headings. This pivot table is based on this sales data, and if I look at the region column here, the same 3 regions appear. Now we're going to be combining East and Central under the name East. So I'll show only the Central, and I'll change all of those to East. Now if I look at the drop down, only East and West are appearing in this table. I'll clear that filter and go back to my pivot table. We haven't refreshed this yet, so I'll right click on a cell and click refresh, and now we only have East and West here. But if I click the region drop down, I can still see Central, even though it's been removed from the data and I've refreshed the pivot table. So we'll look at how to fix that to make that old item disappear from this drop-down. To clear the old items from this pivot table, I'm going to change a pivot table option setting, and that will get rid of the old item for regions, and it will prevent any other old items from appearing if I remove other data from the source data table. To show pivot table options, right-click on a cell in the pivot table, click Pivot Table Options. In here, we're going to the Data tab. There's a section Retain Items Deleted from the Data Source. The item here is number of items to retain per field, and the default, if you haven't changed it, is automatic. So that will keep old items, and we don't want that. We want none. Now when I click OK, I'll still be able to see Central, but if I refresh now and look again, we can only see East and West. So that old item was cleared from our data. So that change to the pivot table options will affect this selected pivot table and any others that are based on that same pivot cache as this one. So you can use those steps to change an individual pivot table, but if you make lots of pivot tables and you would prefer to have that none as your default setting, you can change that if you're using Excel for Office 365 or Excel 2019. And to do that, go into the File tab and click Options. And then on the Data tab, right near the top, you've got Data Options. Make changes to the default layout of pivot tables. Click the button that says Edit Default Layout. And in here you can see a few settings that you can change, but we're going into Pivot Table Options. And this looks just like the regular Pivot Table Options window. So go to Data, and right now it's set to use Automatic as the setting, but if you want most of your pivot tables to retain none of the old items, select that, click OK. You're back here and you can make any other changes you'd like. When you're done, click OK, and click OK again. And now your default setting for any new pivot table will have none as your old items setting. Thanks for watching this video. You can go to my website, Contextures.com, to get this workbook, and please subscribe to my Contextures YouTube channel so you can see the latest videos as I post them.